Welcome to the world premiere of the all-new GMC Hummer EV SUV. You may have already heard and seen the Hummer electric truck. Well, this is the SUV version of it. In this video, I'm going to tell you most of the specs we know already so far, including the size, the power, the range, even the pricing on this new SUV, and exactly when it's going to be available. You may be wondering, where else can you see the Hummer SUV? Well, actually LeBron James has a video about it, and I think it's also being unveiled at the Final Four basketball game, but they don't have all the information we have right now. So let's check it out. I interrupt this video to let you know about this week's TFL Bids bargain. We have some really cool trucks and SUVs available for sale, and in this case, it's a 2005 Jeep Wrangler, but it's not a TJ, it's actually an LJ. Very, very rare. Some people call it the holy grail of Wranglers. Straight six engine, longer wheelbase, a little bit more space on the inside. It's in really great condition, low miles, and it's available at tflbids.com at no reserve. And also Nathan gives us a personal walk around of this Jeep to show you the exact condition that is in. And also we're gonna have up to 3 vehicles, trucks or off-roaders, available on the site for sale every single week. So please submit your truck or a 4x4 off-road SUV. You could sell it right there to like-minded enthusiasts at tflbids.com. Well, hear this. We only have about 3 images of the new SUV, and actually a lot more information, and in-person walk-around is coming on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Just a couple days away. But let's take a look at this brand new super truck, they call it. GMC calls both of these super trucks. Why? Well, it's because of the power they produce. They're all electric. They're based on the same chassis. I'll show you the chassis in a second. But the SUV here is shown with 22-inch wheels, still about a 35-inch tall tire. In this case, it's an all-terrain tire. Here on the truck, you can see the other option they call the Extreme Off-Road Package, which is actually an 18-inch wheel with a more aggressive maximum traction tire, also 35 inches tall. But let's focus our attention on the SUV a little bit more. It's actually about 9 inches shorter than the truck. The total wheelbase is about 126.7 inches, which is actually about 5 inches longer than a Tahoe, brand new Tahoe. So this is still a very, very big full-size SUV. It is only 2 rows for 5 people. And here's the kind of the front view of it. And of course, the rear section is a fully enclosed cargo compartment. So let me show you the next image. Here's, I think, a really good view of it from the 3/4 in the back. You can kind of see that GMC and Hummer are actually, of course, this is a luxury SUV. They're aiming it at the luxury segment, but they're also aiming it at the off-road capable, as an off-road capable machine, because look at the approach angle, the great breakover angle, and of course the departure angle. As you can see, the rear tire is mounted on the rear hatch. Of course, you have a D-ring in the back, and of course a hitch as well. We still don't know exactly what the tow ratings will be, but we do know that this chassis now houses about 20 battery cells, lithium-ion batteries from GMC, and the range will be about 300 miles plus, according to Hummer. This is about 50 miles less than the truck because this chassis is shorter. They have fewer battery cells, so the battery capacity is a little bit smaller, hence the range is a little bit shorter. The power is still there. This is a first edition of the SUV, and it has 2 motors in the back, 1 motor in the front, so true 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive capability. Of course, you have torque vectoring capability in the rear. You have kind of a locking differential front end. Total power on the SUV is 830 horsepower. So less than the truck. The truck is rated at 1,000 horsepower. This is 830. And as far as grounded torque at the wheels, the torque rating is still the same at about 11,500 pound-feet of torque. Yes, GMC is going to this new torque rating, which is kind of uncommon still amongst kind of mainstream manufacturers, but those are the specs that they provide. So this SUV also has air suspension, adjustable heights between about 10 inches and about 16 inches, which is about the same as the truck. And also four-wheel steering is available. So it will have the extraction mode, maximum height. It will have crab walk, where it can go diagonally around obstacles. So all those modes will be available. And the roof sections are removable. So you do have the same capability as in the truck, where you can remove the entire front section, leaving the B-pillar hoop kind of in place for strength. And you can remove the rear two panels as well, so for kind of an open air experience. So let's look on the inside really quick. Here we go. On the inside, this is what the SUV looks like in kind of a different, slightly different color combination option. This interior is very similar to what you saw on the truck, of course. So let's go over some of the elements we see here. So first of all, you can kind of see the door handles are upright. There's a lot of elements like the speaker cover, the floor boards, even kind of the moon boot. So what the theme they're going for is kind of a moonscape, because this is kind of a moonshot for the company. So they've kind of put a moonscape map on the speaker cover, on the floor mats, and even a little bit of astronaut moon boot on the bottom. Here in the front, digital dash. This is the most optioned, most luxurious first edition, edition 1 of the Hummer SUV. Of course, you can see your transmission shifter here, your mode select button right here. It will have Super Cruise available feature, which is a semi-automatic driving mode. So for around between 100,000 and 200,000 miles of pre-mapped highways, this it'd be a hands-off type driving experience, except the driver has to pay attention still. There is still a sensor right here that monitors the driver. Of course, 2 digital screens. You have different driving modes, auxiliary switches you can see right here. Of course, also, luxury features like heated seats and a heated steering wheel, of course, is there as well. The SUV will also have the Watts to Freedom mode, which is a special high acceleration mode that they unveiled on the truck as well. The truck is capable, they say, about 3 seconds 0 to 60 accelerations. The SUV, because of the smaller battery pack and a little bit less power from the motors, is rated at 3.5 second 0 to 60. But in Watts to Freedom mode, what happens is the batteries and the motors are preconditioned for maximum acceleration. The whole thing lowers a little bit. You're going to have different graphics play on the screens. You're going to have some sort of a sound to kind of put you in the mood. It's almost like a roller coaster ride. So all of that is going to be available on the SUV as well. So what about pricing and options? Let's dig into that. Oh, and by the way, before I show you the price, I wanted to show you one image we have of the chassis. This is the Ultium platform. You could see kind of the frame rails going around the battery cells. It's double stacked. It's their latest chemistry that they're using. This is the front of the chassis. That's the rear of the chassis. And you can kind of see also the adjustable suspension, the drive shafts. It's independent suspension all the way around, front and back. So this is the chassis that's shared between the truck and the SUV. And as you know, the SUV Edition 1 will be on sale later this year at $112,000 plus. Well, let's take a look at what we have here. So here's the SUV pricing. So first, production begins early 2023. So we still have to wait nearly 2 years for the SUV to come out. It's technically labeled as a 2024 model, but it's going to be available in early 2023. The Edition 1 will be the first one, so focus on this column. $105,595. It's about $7,000 less than the truck. 300 miles plus. Here's your ratings, and of course your charging capability. They say you can still pick up about 100 miles of range in about between 10 to 12 minutes with charging. Of course, fast charging is available, but also level 2 and level 1 charging will be available as well. You can get that extreme off-road package for another $5,000 on top of your Edition 1, and that gives you the special tires. Also, a lot of different camera views are included in the Edition 1 models, including the underbody cameras to show you underneath and to show you where you're placing your wheels. So the Extreme Off-Road package is available. Then a little bit later in the spring of 2023, the 3X model comes out at about $99,000, about $100K. Same power numbers, same range, except not quite as many features. So it's a little bit more affordable right there. Then a little bit also in spring of 23, a 2X model. This model has less power. You can see 625 horsepower and about 7,400 pound-feet of torque, grounded torque. Same charging capability. Also off-road packages available. And then later, the most affordable model will be the $79,995. Is called EV2 SUV in spring of 2024. So a whole year after it's being on sale. And the power is a little bit less. Once again, the range is a little bit less. The charging capability is a little bit lower. But the range, you can actually boost it up, they say. So that's how the pricing is laid out. This is what it looks like. But if you guys want more details, you have to stay tuned to Monday. Yep, I actually had an in-person opportunity to see the SUV, walk around it. So on Monday, you can check it out on TFL Truck channel. On TFL Off-Road, I also have some information about the truck and the coolest off-road features it offers. So that's on TFL Off-Road. And I also got an opportunity to interview one of the leading engineers on the GMC Hummer team. So that will be on TFL Talk, our podcast. So stay tuned for that. That's coming in just under 2 days. And as always, all of this stuff is going to be available at tfltruck.com.